And now, Canada is starting a dispute resolution process against Stellantis.
The North American auto industry woke up to a shockwave as news spread that production of a key Stellantis model was being shifted from Brampton, Ontario, to a facility in Illinois. What seemed at first like a bold strategic move to align with changing trade conditions has rapidly evolved into one of the most surprising industrial reversals of the year. Before continuing, remember to support this report by subscribing and leaving a like, as it helps ensure more in-depth coverage like this reaches you. The decision to relocate was initially framed as a tactical response to U.S. tariffs meant to encourage domestic manufacturing. Instead of becoming a symbol of economic protection, the move dragged Stellantis into a maze of financial strain. The Illinois plant, expected to be a haven from tariff pressures, soon faced rising operational expenses, surging labor demands, and mounting energy costs. What began as a calculated escape from penalties has steadily revealed itself as a misjudgment, carrying a heavy price. Inside the newly prioritized U.S. facility, production margins tightened as supply routes fractured and expenses soared. Internal assessments projected increases in labor costs exceeding previous estimates by nearly a third, while energy-related expenses expanded far beyond original forecasts. Transport disruptions and component shortages strained operations, reducing output and creating unpredictable delays. Instead of stabilizing under the protection of new trade barriers, the company found itself confronting escalating financial pressure. Meanwhile, the intended benefits of tariffs rippled outward, creating unintended consequences throughout the U.S. auto landscape. The cost of building vehicles with domestic inputs rose sharply across multiple states. Analysts projected that average prices for American-made cars could climb significantly, making new models less accessible for consumers already grappling with inflation. Manufacturers tightened production schedules, dealers registered declining orders, and the regional workforce felt the immediate impact of suspended shifts and postponed assembly lines. As these complications unfolded in the United States, the outlook in Canada took a remarkably different path. Rather than responding with retaliation or political escalation, Canada approached the situation with a combination of legal firmness and strategic policy alignment. The government emphasized adherence to agreements tied to industrial support, reinforcing the principle that public funding required corporate accountability. Officials monitored the situation closely, evaluating whether contractual obligations tied to employment and production were still being honored. Clear expectations were reiterated, ensuring that commitments to Canadian workers and facilities remained non-negotiable. This methodical approach allowed Canada to pivot rather than react. The shift of one vehicle line did not translate into panic. Instead, it sparked an accelerated push toward modernization. National and provincial authorities, together with industry partners, redirected focus toward electric vehicle development and emerging battery technology. Investments were strengthened, innovation was prioritized, and new rounds of manufacturing commitments took shape. Instead of losing capacity, Canada recalibrated it. The transformation became evident with the expansion of advanced battery production in Windsor, a project designed to anchor a comprehensive electric vehicle ecosystem. The initiative laid the foundation for a future defined by high-tech assembly, energy storage capabilities, and clean manufacturing expertise. Thousands of new jobs were forecasted as construction accelerated and the surrounding supply chain prepared for long-term growth. Brampton itself was eyed for renewed activity, with new production strategies under evaluation to stabilize workforce continuity and maintain regional economic strength. This rise in coordinated planning developed into something even more notable: unity. Federal leadership, provincial authorities, and labor organizations aligned their strategies and objectives, forming a unified front focused on securing Canada's industrial ecosystem. Cooperation replaced fragmentation, enabling the country to confront corporate decisions with a shared message. Public funds would support innovation, development, and stability, never uncertainty. Policies were restructured to mirror North American incentives, ensuring competitiveness without sacrificing sovereignty. While the U.S. struggled to manage rising manufacturing expenses and tariff complications, Canada steadily reinforced a climate of predictability. Facilities in Ontario continued operating, major electric vehicle projects advanced, and additional investments were deployed to support next-generation manufacturing. Without fanfare or political spectacle, the stability strategy delivered measurable outcomes. Production stabilized, jobs remained secure, and the broader transition toward electrification gained momentum. In contrast, the U.S. operation at the center of the relocation faced continuing challenges. The combination of higher wages, elevated energy demands, and complex logistics pushed production costs far beyond initial models. Forecasts had to be revised. The move intended to shield operations from tariffs instead created a new layer of vulnerabilities. Analysts across multiple sectors began warning of diminishing returns and reduced competitiveness in the domestic market. Canada's strategy, quiet, steady, and structured, produced the opposite effect. The country strengthened its industrial base, expanded its technological capabilities, and demonstrated how consistency can become a source of national leverage. As the U.S. facility grappled with setbacks, Canada built the foundation of an integrated electric vehicle economy anchored in long-term planning and broad cooperation. The message became clear: in a world preoccupied with tariffs, disruption, and political tension, endurance and clarity often prove more powerful than headlines and pressure. What began as a corporate relocation saga has become a case study in contrasting national strategies. One country battled rising costs and fractured supply chains. The other used stability to fuel evolution. In the end, the true advantage did not emerge where tariffs pointed or where production was redirected. It emerged where policy, planning, and unity converged with precision. If this report provided valuable insight, make sure to like and subscribe to support future investigations and deep dive analysis.